I'm going to explain exactly what you need to do to take your dog, cat, or even ferret from the UK into the EU. Since Brexit, taking your pet abroad has become a logistical and financial nightmare. So in this video, I'm going to try and make it as simple and as easy to follow as possible. Hello, by the way, my name's Robbie Who, and I'm a travel content creator here on YouTube. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notifications turned on. Right, now let's get into it. So if you're planning a road trip or holiday abroad and you want to take your pet, you'll need to plan in advance and ensure you have the correct certification and your pets have the correct vaccinations before you travel. To keep it simple, let's completely forget about pre-Brexit rules. Let's also clear something else up. The .gov website has contradicting information, so if you watch this video and then visit the .gov website, you might well think, well, hold on a second, the Robbie Who video is incorrect. I can assure you at the time of making this video in September 2023, this video is more accurate than the government website. Okay, so let's begin with Northern Ireland. So if you'd like to go to Northern Ireland from any part of the mainland UK, you do not need any certification, treatments or up-to-date vaccinations. At the time of making this video, there are no routine checks when travelling to Northern Ireland. They have suspended it indefinitely as per the Northern Irish government website. That means if you'd like to go to mainland Ireland, you can get the ferry to Northern Ireland first and just drive straight into the Republic as there are no borders or checks. So again, just to repeat, if you're travelling from the UK mainland to Northern Ireland, there's no certification or vaccination required. Now if you're travelling from the UK mainland to the Republic of Ireland directly or any other EU country, you are going to need certification and you're going to need some vaccinations. Okay, so what exactly do you and your pet need to travel from the mainland UK into the Republic of Ireland, France or any other EU country? Number 1, a valid rabies vaccination that is up to date. Number 2, a valid microchip that can be easily scanned and read. Number 3, if you're travelling directly to Ireland, Finland, Norway or Malta and you're taking a dog, it will need a tapeworm treatment. And number 4, you'll need an animal health certificate or an EU pet passport. Now an EU pet passport can't actually be issued in England, Wales or Scotland. And I'll explain a little bit more now. The rabies vaccination must be up to date and a batch number recorded in the animal health certificate or EU pet passport. Now if it's your dog or cat's first rabies vaccine, you must wait 21 days to travel after your pet is vaccinated, so please bear this in mind. For example, if your pet gets vaccinated on the 1st of September, you can legally travel on the 22nd of September. Number 2, your pet's microchip must be easily scanned. The microchip number will be recorded into the animal health certificate or EU pet passport. This may actually be cross-checked when you arrive in the new country, so please make sure that the animal health certificate or EU pet passport has the correct microchip number in. Number 3, if your dog does need the tapeworm treatment, it must be given no less than 24 hours and no more than 5 days before you arrive. This again must be recorded on the animal health certificate or the EU pet passport. Number 4, so your pet will either need an animal health certificate or an EU pet passport. Let's talk about the animal health certificate. So an animal health certificate is a document that can hold up to 5 pets. It must be obtained in the 10 days before you enter Ireland, France or any of the other countries in the EU, and it must be obtained by an official vet, also known as an OV. And it will allow 4 months of onward travel within the EU, and it will give you 4 months for re-entry back into Great Britain. Now if you did want to go on a future holiday, you would need to obtain a new animal health certificate, which can cost an absolute fortune. Now the other option instead of an animal health certificate is the EU pet passport, which can be used for your pet's entire life as long as the rabies vaccine is kept up to date using a vaccine that's from within the EU or Northern Ireland. Now the confusing thing about the pet passport is that it can't be issued in England, Wales or Scotland. So how on earth would you get hold of one of these if you're not from one of them countries? So you can actually visit Northern Ireland, the Republic or any of the other EU countries and you may be able to obtain an EU pet passport. I did exactly this process in Northern Ireland and it actually cost me a lot less than the single-use animal health certificate, which really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, so I hope you're all still following. Now I'm going to explain exactly how much all of this is going to cost you, because that's an important factor when deciding where and when to travel. And just before I go into the exact cost for all of this, I just want to quickly tell you about my No Fuss travel guidebooks, which are full of useful tips, incredible locations and dog friendly places. For example, in my new Road Trip Southwest guidebook, Each dog-friendly location is highlighted with a paw print symbol, so you can make sure your dogs also have the trip of a lifetime. I'll be releasing a brand new Ireland book very soon. Until then, make sure you grab the North Coast 500, Wales and Southwest books direct from my website, which is robbieroams.com, or via Amazon. Now let's get back into it. How much will it cost to take your pet into the EU? So number one, rabies vaccine. The vet I used in Staffordshire in England actually charged me £85 per dog, which is probably a bit higher than the UK average of 50 to 60. Number two, the dogs already had a microchip, so I didn't need to buy a new one, but a new one will probably set you back between £20 and £40. Number three, the tapeworm treatment, including the tablet and the cost to certify it, originally cost me £30 per dog, but when I recently returned to Ireland and I got another set of treatment, it only cost me £37 for 2 dogs, so this price for some reason was varying at the vets that I use in Staffordshire. Number four, the animal health certificate. This could well be the most costly part of this all. So for the first dog it cost £325, and for the second dog it was £64. So if you do have more than one dog, it will be cheaper per dog. And from a bit of research I've done, you are able to obtain this for a bit cheaper if you shop around. And again, just to clarify, you're going to need one of these certificates every single time you enter the EU again in the future. It does sound like a money making scheme for the vets, to be honest. Okay, so to get my border collies Archie and Jem ready and legal to travel to the Republic of Ireland directly, it actually cost me a total of £619, which is £309.50 per dog. And if your jaw is dropping at the cost of this, imagine mine when I got the bill from the vets. It seems like somewhat of a scam when you consider you'll need all of this again every time you travel. And so to try and future-proof the dogs, I decided to get an EU pet passport from a very helpful and friendly vet in Northern Ireland. If you'd like the details of the vet, they're more than happy for me to share them. Please leave me a comment below and I'll reply with all the details. So the EU passport can be used multiple times. Number one, the rabies vaccine. Even though the dogs had already had their rabies vaccine a few weeks before travelling, they needed to have it again, as the vaccine needed to show an EU serial number for the pet passport. So this costs approximately £60 per dog again. Number two, the microchipped wasn't needed again, so I didn't have to pay for a new one. Number three, the dogs didn't need any tapeworm treatment this time. And number four, the EU pet passport cost approximately £52 per dog. So in total, the cost per dog was £112, which was much cheaper than my vets in England. And it's allowed me to get a document for each of them I can use as many times as I'd like, as long as their rabies vaccine is kept up to date. The only caveat with this is that the rabies vaccine needs the EU serial number, so I'm going to have to bring them back to Northern Ireland every 3 years, or somewhere in the EU. And finally, let's talk about bringing your dog back home into mainland UK. So number one, if your trip is no longer than 5 days, you won't need to do anything else upon your return to the UK. Number two, if you're travelling back from an EU country that isn't Ireland, Finland, Norway or Malta, you're also going to have to get a tapeworm treatment for your dog before you return back to the UK. And remember, the tapeworm treatment must be given no less than 24 hours and no more than 5 days before your return. This will obviously need to be given by a vet abroad, and it must be documented in your pet passport or animal health certificate. And that's it. You should be able to go and enjoy your holiday and bring your dog back as long as you follow these guidelines. And I'm so sorry if this video seems complicated. I've actually tried to put this in the most simplistic terms. You know, even some friends we have who are actually vets didn't realise some of these rules, and they were getting conflicting information. So thanks to Brexit, it's made it absolutely hard for everybody that wants to take their pets to the EU. But it is possible, and it can be done more cost effectively if you're willing to shop around or get your pet a EU pet passport. Anyway, if you're watching this video, you probably love your pets as much as I love mine, and all of this hassle and money will 100% be worth it. Our dogs have had the time of their lives running around all of the beautiful beaches in Ireland, and I wouldn't hesitate to take them into mainland Europe. So yeah, please don't be put off. Once you've got your head around this, the process is actually not so bad. If you need to watch the video again, feel free until it actually sinks in. If you've got any questions, please just leave a comment below. And hopefully my next video is going to be my road trip series around Ireland, where I've got my 2 collie dogs and we're literally having the time of our lives. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll be watching that video very soon.